In this video, I'm going to show you my new favorite thing in After Effects, which is the Roto Brush 3 tool. It is After Effects' best use of AI, in my opinion, because it saves so much time in the roto process. So here I have an MP4. I pull it into my timeline here, and you can see it's an illustrated little animation. What I want to do is cut out the background and just have the guy with a transparent background that I can put onto something else. How do I do it? Well, it's so simple. I can do it in literally minutes now. Something that used to take me hours and hours is quick and easy to do, and I'm going to show you how. So here, like I said, I've dropped my MP4 into my timeline. Now I need to double click within my composition, and now I'm in my layer file, and I'm going to roto him out within this layer. So make sure you've double clicked within your composition. Your composition will remain here, so you can always go back and forth, but we're going to be over here in our layer. And now we need to define what we want to roto out. And in order to do that, we need to get our Roto Brush, which is at the top. If you go to your little icons at the top, you'll see there's this Refine Edge tool, but it's also the Roto Brush tool. So if I switch it, I can see my Roto Brush tool here. We're going to use the Refine Edge soon, so that's why that was selected. I used it before, but we need our Roto Brush tool for now. So we're looking for that little brush with the little guy there. That's what we want. And when we go into our layer, you can see that little green symbol. That's my brush. It's a little small. I like to start it off a bit bigger so that I can grab as much as possible. So to change our brush size, you're just going to hold down Control or Command and move your mouse. Hold down the left mouse click button and scroll, and you'll see you can change the size. So I think that size is good to start. I'm going to just paint over, and you can see that purple line is selecting some of my comp. It's a smart select, so it kind of knows what to grab. And I can just click along and define what I need to grab accordingly. If I go over the edge a bit, like I did here, that's okay. I can remove from my selection, so I'm not going to worry about that. I am going to hold down Control and make my brush a little smaller for this region here. So I'm just holding down Control and moving my left mouse button a little bit. If I hold down Alt, I can remove. So if you hold down Alt, your brush becomes a remove brush, and I can click in the area that I don't want to select. And you'll see I've got some fine areas here that I need to select. So I need to make my brush as small as possible to get the little parts of the guitar here. And if I just click, it's grabbing the area perfectly. So that looks pretty good. This is really good at understanding what you want right off the bat. There are some areas here where there's hair that's not being selected. I'm going to deal with that in another way. So we're going to just skip that for now, but overall pretty good. And now if I want to see where the transparency will be, I can go back into my composition that's right here. And look at that. You can see the transparency. If you can't and you're seeing a black background, make sure your transparency grid is turned on. So if this is what you see, go down here and toggle on that transparency grid. There you go. So now let's clean up our mat a little bit. If I go back into my layer, I'm in that purple line area. If I go to the bottom here, I can see there's different ways to view my mask, essentially. So if I click this red one, I can now see what will be transparent in red. And honestly, it did a very good job. So it's not looking like I need to do much cleaning here, but there's some areas right here, for example, that I could clean it up a little. And if I hit my Alt button, hold that down and just kind of paint, I can remove even more and get those edges to be as clean as possible. Another thing, you can change this color. If you don't like it red, you can always just hit that little red square and move it around and make it a different color. Say that your, background was already pretty red. It might be hard to see, so that could help. Also, you can see your alpha matte by toggling that on down here. So if you click that, you can see. I like to do this in order to see the crispness of my lines. So sometimes I toggle that on, or to see if there's a little area I missed in black and white. It can be really clear. But overall, I mostly use the outline option in purple to create my roto. And very importantly, I like to clean up my roto by going into my effect controls menu. You will have this Roto Brush effect added on. And importantly, I'm in version 3. That's the newest and the best. And what I do is I feather my edges a little bit. I find this helpful to create clean edges that don't look fake or overly crisp. I also shift my edge, and I'm going to do that back in my composition so I can see it easier. But I also reduce my chatter. Reducing chatter is great because your edges will get a little funky. They'll move quickly and it'll look a little weird. So reducing chatter really helps. But before I do that, I need to run this so that the roto registers. And in order to do that, I just need to play on my timeline and it will create that moving roto. So just starting at the beginning, I will push spacebar on my keyboard. And that green means it's rendering. So it's locking in those frames. Really cool. Okay. And I can check on that by going over to my composition and watching it in real time. And look how fast it plays. That is awesome. And this would have taken so much time before this was possible. So this looks really good. Now that I'm in this screen and I can see the transparency, I really want to make my changes. So I'm going to reduce chatter by, I keep it under 40% generally. I find that if I hit that too high, it starts to get a little funky. So if you're in your layer and you notice there's like splotches of purple, that's probably because your chatter is too high. Here, it doesn't really happen on this example, so I can't show you, but if you're finding that you're having a splotch of purple, bring that chatter down to 30 or so and see what happens. Shifting edge. So back in my composition, if I shift my edge up, you'll see that the edges get a little thicker. I'm seeing more, and I actually like to shift my edge up. I find that the roto is pretty tight and I can use a little leeway on my edges. So I'm bumping that up pretty high, but that's just a sweet spot. See what works for your particular image. So this is looking awesome. There's 2 more things I want to show you. Let's go back into our layer. First off is the very cool Refine Edge tool that I kind of mentioned earlier. We're going to go from our Roto Brush back to Refine Edge tool. And this is where we can get those little details like hair and just stuff that's semi-transparent or just not being picked up by the regular roto. Very fine detail. Actually, I don't really use this on my illustration rotos, but for photography or videography, this is like really a game changer. So if I paint with that, you'll see I'll get this like black and white alpha, and that is picking up the fine detail, but it's knowing when to drop off in a very smart way. So I can paint on those fine details and it will pick them up, leaving that transparent background as much as possible. So this is really good when you want very realistic rotos, especially with people and stuff. Doesn't really make sense with my illustration stuff, but I wanted to show it to you because it's really useful and really cool, and you'll definitely be using it a lot. So that's that. The last thing is that we need to freeze this if we're going to continue working on it in After Effects so that you don't use too much processing power every time. So once I freeze it, it will lock in this roto and I can work and it won't have to reprocess all the time. And then if I want to make a change, I would unfreeze. So let's freeze it. This takes just a minute or 2. And once it's frozen, like I said, you can continue working on your project and you won't have to worry about using too much processing power every time. Cool. So now it's frozen. I go back into my composition and I can just carry on working and everything. And what I need to do here is render it out because I want this transparent background to be in Premiere. So I need it to be rendered out with a transparent background. And that's easy enough to do inside of After Effects. So let's just do it. So if I want to render, I'm going to go up to File, Export, Add to Render Queue. And then in my render queue, which is down where my layers are, I'm going to hit this button here, Output Module, and I need to make a couple changes in order to render it with a transparent background. So first off, the format needs to change. I need to go from this H.264 to a QuickTime file. QuickTime will have transparency, but in order to make sure it has the transparency you want, you need to make sure the channel has an alpha. So under Video Output, Channels, hit that and make sure you're in RGB plus alpha because I want both color and transparency. So with that selected, I'm going to hit OK. I got to make sure that my output is going to the right place. I'm going to call him Guitar Man, but I'm just going to add some numbers at the end so I can find them easier. And now I'm just going to render. Cool. It was really fast because that was a short animation. And now to make sure that I've got that transparency, to double check, I'm going to hop into Premiere and pull the new MOV file in to see that transparency. Okay, so I've got Premiere open here. Let's pull in the new MOV file, drop him in and see if we've got that transparency. Wow, looking good. So we've got a transparent background and oh, that's so smooth. I'm really loving this. So you guys, you gotta use After Effects to roto out your stuff. It's so fast, so easy. It's a game changer. It literally is something I use every day. So I hope you guys found this useful. If you have specific questions, leave them in the comments. Hopefully I can answer them. And if you found this video useful, check out my playlist in After Effects where I have tons more like this. And thank you guys so much for watching.
If you want to support me and see what I've been working on, check out my explainer video channel.